courage occurs when the actor has the slightest thought that things will go as planned, no matter what level of risk. An act of courage is often related to saving a life or fighting in a war, but can also include choosing between C or B on a math quiz, or making the decision to have a child. An act of courage must also meet the following criteria. An act of courage must involve risk. It must be outside of your comfort zone, should involve fear, skill, and a very deep thought process. An act of courage must never be forced, and must always be your own decision. On August 28, 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. stood at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., and told 250,000 elated supporters his dream of racial equality. A black man giving his world-renowned speech titled "I Have a Dream" was an extremely courageous act. King's delivering his speech was very risky due to the fact that racists were known for physically harming African Americans when they went against their orders. Martin creating this movement angered many white people in America and put his life in extreme danger. King was known for being a great public speaker, but not to the amount of people listening that day. King had absolutely marched out of his comfort zone to let his voice be heard. The change he made in our great nation, he could have never done without the skill or knowledge he obtained. The way Martin spoke through that microphone and the truth and emotion he dumped on Americans opened the eyes of many of the blind in society. But what caused King's dramatic approach to prejudice? The answer is fear. If King had not feared the well-being of his own kind, he would have never been so determined for change. Junior had absolutely put thought into what he was going to say up on that podium, and put lots of time and effort into writing his speech. No one forced him to march. Spreading his beliefs and opinions were never indebted, but were overall King's own decision. He wanted to put himself out there for humanity to recognize and coincide with his dreams for equality. Conclusively, Martin Luther King's speech, "I Have a Dream," from Lesson 2, meet all of the criteria for being a courageous act. And we the people will forever thank Martin Luther King for standing up for not only his civil right, but for the freedom in the United States of America.